Kickstart this edition with some news just coming in. A blast reported at Haniyeh's Tehran home. The Saudi media reporting that Haniyeh's Tehran home has been targeted. In fact, we're getting in details as to what could have happened possibly in the wee hours at about 2 a.m. Tehran time, where the Hamas chief Haniyeh and the bodyguard were killed in a strike. Some details about Haniyeh's Tehran home being attacked. A section of the Saudi media is reporting on the fact that this happened at about 2 a.m. Tehran time. The Hamas political chief Haniyeh and the bodyguard were killed in the Tehran strike. This happened at 2 this morning, essentially 2 o'clock Tehran time. IDF has in fact killed top Hamas leader Haniyeh in an attack in Iran, killed at his residence in Tehran. Here are some details that we have with us about the mystery strike that killed the political chief of Hamas, Ismail Haniyeh, who was assassinated in Iran. He was killed in Tehran, where he had been attending the president's inauguration, where many other world leaders were present, including India's Union Minister Nitin Gadkari. Haniyeh and one of his bodyguards were killed after the building where they were staying was struck, is what we know. Haniyeh, like I said, was in Tehran to attend the inauguration ceremony of Iran's president, Masoud Pezeshkian, on Tuesday. A statement that has been released by Hamas said that the Islamic resistance movement mourns to our great Palestinian people, to the Arab and Islamic nation, and to all the free people of the world. Brother, leader, martyr, Mujahid Ismail Haniyeh, the head of the movement, was killed in a treacherous Zionist raid on his residence in Tehran. That was the statement that has been put out by Hamas. Also, Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps has announced Haniyeh's death. Gaurav Sawant, our managing editor, is joining in. Ashraf is also with us for more details on that story. Rajesh Pawar joins us from Kiev in Ukraine. First, coming straight to you, Gaurav, essentially give us an idea about what next. We know that he's now been taken out in this fashion in Iran at his home in Tehran, is what is clear. What next as far as the war is concerned? We're expecting escalation.
Well, there is likely to be escalation, no doubt. The negotiations that were on, that will suffer a setback. That is the apprehension. But the fact that Israel is being accused of taking out Ismail Haniyeh, and that too in Tehran, just goes on to show how deep is the penetration of Mossad, Israel's external intelligence agency, in Iran. Now, for decades, of course, Israel has successfully taken out Iran's nuclear scientists, and it has a number of deep assets deep inside Iran. But the timing is very crucial. He used to live in Qatar, Ismail Haniyeh. He traveled from Qatar to Tehran for the inauguration of the new president of Iran, met the new president of Iran, was photographed in public, then went and met the supreme leader of Iran, Sayyid Khamenei, and then when he returned to his building, that building was targeted. That just shows how precise was the intelligence that both the Iran's Revolutionary Guard Corps and the resistance movement Hamas confirmed within hours that Ismail Haniyeh has been killed. They, of course, have blamed Zionists, as they put it, that this was a Zionist attack that took place in neutralizing him. Now it remains to be seen how Iran responds and how Hamas, with its back to the wall, responds. While Yahya Sinwar is still said to be in the Gaza Strip, the biggest issue remains how strong will, or whatever form, can Hamas respond. How will the Hezbollah reform, considering one of the top Hezbollah commanders was also neutralized in Beirut in the past 24 hours or past 12 hours? And again, he was someone, Fuad Shukr was one of the top Hezbollah commanders, their military operations chief in a way. He was neutralized. So now you have the Hamas, the Hezbollah and the Houthis, and of course backed by Iran. It remains to be seen how they respond to Israel's twin strikes.
With us, I'm just going to come back to you in a moment from now. Ashraf Vani also is with us. There's a massive alert in Israel after the assassination of the Hamas chief. Essentially, we're waiting in for more details, Ashraf, but what we know is that about 2 o'clock or so, Tehran time, the building, in fact, in which he was staying, his house in Tehran is what was struck, with one bodyguard killed as well. Ashraf.
Absolutely, Saniha. The big question here is that during last 9 months, Ismail Haniyeh was the target of Israel, and it was described by the Prime Minister Netanyahu himself that all the leaders will be assassinated of Hamas. But why was chosen the place only the Tehran? Tehran is the capital of Iran, and Israel thinks that Iran is the only country in the world which is against and after them. The Al-Quds force, the commander of which was in fact attending just a meeting which was held in the Tehran, was formed by the Iran years back to liberate the Jerusalem. So Israel is aware about it, that whatever happens in the Israel or against Israel, the brain behind that is only Iran, not other Muslim countries in the Gulf, because they have good ties with America as well as with some of them with the Israel. But here now the most important thing what emerges is that the tension, as Gaurav was saying, is going to escalate. That is sure. Yes. And number two is how that tension will escalate. Will Iran take revenge himself by targeting directly Israel, or will he again use his proxies like Hezbollah, which has been targeted during last 12 hours in the Beirut? Their top commander was killed there, or by the Houthis who are in the Yemen and are against the Israel for last 9 months, or the Hamas itself, because their leader, not only the leader but elected prime minister, which the elections which were conducted by Israel itself, Ismail Haniyeh was elected prime minister of the Gaza. That means that leadership has been completely assassinated by the Israel. How this Hamas is going to react to that, and Iran is going to help them in those kind of revenge tactics, which will be sure. But when and where, that is yet to be seen, and that is why the Israel has put on high alert all its area, as well as they have suspended their air service in the north part of the Israel. So very important thing, and the coming hours will clearly tell the picture after the meeting of the Islamic Revolutionary Guards as well as by the Iran in Tehran.
Right. Be with us. I'm just going to come back to you and to Rajesh as well as Gaurav in a moment from now. We have in fact more news coming in, and the theories doing the rounds at this point in time. Theory number one, that Israeli precision strike killed Haniyeh. Theory number two, that Israeli bad forces in the surgical raid that was carried out, and Haniyeh was shot dead and he was showering. In shower is theory number three. Very interesting that these theories now are doing the rounds about what could have happened at 2 a.m. this morning, Tehran time. Rajesh, as far as the assassination of the dreaded Hamas leader, the political head of Hamas, is concerned, that he was in fact taken out in a fashion, in a precision strike, is what we understand. Also a theory that he could have been shot dead while he was in the shower.
Sneha, look, this is a very big news, and this is in series of events which have happened in last few days, which has led to escalation in the Middle East around Israel, be it in Yemen, be it in Lebanon. And this incident comes as a kind of trigger now, which probably will lead to further escalation in this area. Most likely, what is my assumption is that probably he has been taken out in a raid which was carried out at his house, not through air, but through ground. It was a team of assassins which probably have gone to his residence, and they were watching him for last some time. And Israel, let me tell you, has refrained from hitting the political leadership so far, because it was important for them with regards to the talks which were going on for the release of hostages. Now, since those talks have almost failed and Israel does not expect any more release of hostages, and that is when now Israel has carried out this attack on Ismail Haniyeh, who was based in Qatar, and where Israel has refrained from carrying out any kind of attack so far. Ismail Haniyeh was in Iran to meet the new president of Iran and the supreme leader, and he was there to discuss also the events, the escalations which were taking place in Israel right now. Israeli forces have been carrying on their operations at full swing in Gaza, and there is a likelihood, it was being presumed by geopoliticians around the world, and it was expected that any time Israel might go in Lebanon for a full-scale attack. And a lot of countries have issued warnings to their citizens in Lebanon to evacuate Lebanon as early as possible. And now it looks like right now as we talk, there's a meeting of the highest leadership of Iranian military is underway, and something will come out of that. Israel has not yet issued an official statement. That is also likely to happen very soon. And as soon as these two things happen, the further course of events will be more clear. But it is for sure that this event will lead to a further escalation and a major escalation in this whole war which is going on in the Middle East.